fun place to go if you like I primi, if you like pasta, risotto, polenta, is I Primi d'Italia, a festival, a 3-day festival in Foligno, in Umbria, where the streets turn into a delight. People dress in pasta and risotto, there's fashion shows, there's tastings in beautiful courtyards. Chefs from all over Italy come to show why polenta, risotto, and pasta are so special in the hands of Italian chefs. And someplace that I'm very looking forward to visiting many, many times, starting May 1st until November 1st, is Expo Milano. The Milano 2015 Expo. This year, the theme of the Expo every 5 years, but it's feeding the planet. And there's going to be a pavilion on pasta. There's going to be a pavilion on the future of food, where you could have 3D printed food, even pasta printed. There'll be a beautiful pavilion of vertical farming. It will really be a very special place to visit, not only Italy, but to see the gorgeous history of food. There'll be a beautiful pavilion on the history of art in food, of the history of food in art. And also there'll be an Identità Goloso chef of the week. Michelin star chefs in Italy like Massimo Bottura and Davide Scabin, every week of the 26 weeks, there'll be a different chef that will be there cooking something that will show a specialty of Italy. Now, I thought I'd take a little break from our pasta talk for a second to share some of my favorite sayings that have to do with food in Italy. In America, we say, "You have rose-colored glasses." In Italy, they say, "You have slices of salami on your eyes." Hai fette di salami sugli occhi. In Italy, they say, "You have salt on your pumpkin," if you're somebody very smart and clever. To sop up the very last of the sauce, they say "fare la scarpetta," doing the shoe, because it leaves a little track mark in your dish when you use your bread. And then in America, we say "a cherry on top." In Italy, they say like "cheese on pasta." So I said I would only talk about pasta and dessert, but for a second I have to talk about Italian cheese, because it goes with pasta and it goes with dessert. There are hundreds and hundreds of very important cheeses, and a very, very long culinary tradition of cheese in Italy. Pecorino, Caciocavallo from Sicily, the king of cheese, what they call Parmigiano Reggiano, mozzarella, a DOP from Campania, burrata, which is sort of uber mozzarella. You open it and there's kind of this just creaminess inside. Gorgonzola, DOP from Lombardia. That whole Po Valley has wonderful, wonderful cheeses, including mascarpone, which is used for many, many savory dishes, but the ubiquitous tiramisu. See how I weaved in, now transitioning to desserts? So Italian desserts, so many, and such a long history. So many cookies, from Cantucci. And in Italy, unlike America, where we're sort of a milk and cookies kind of country, dipping our cookies in milk, in Italy, it's wine, dessert wines and cookies. And there are many wonderful dessert wines to pair with sweets, like Vinsanto is a classic with Cantucci. Every region has dozens and dozens of exceptional cookies. What I love about them, like baci di damma, which are little cookies with hazelnut flour and a touch of chocolate holding the two centers together, is how much the cookies of Italy celebrate the nuts of Italy. So there's always something wholesome, a protein that balances the sweetness, and they're never too sweet. One of my favorites are peppatelli. Has anybody ever had peppatelli? Peppatelli are a delight. 4 ingredients: flour, honey, almonds, and pepper. 4 ingredients, no eggs, no sugar, no anything else, leavening, nothing. You just mix those together, bake it, and then cut them in very thin. So it really is a very hundreds and hundreds of years old recipe, because in the past, which it seems very modern now, oh, pepper in dessert, but it was very, very much, when you taste it, you realize that the honey and the nuts with that little bit of pepper has just a wonderful balance of flavors. And it was thought very healthful and also a wonderful gift to give exotic and expensive spices to guests after dinner. There's also the whimsical peschi dolci, this faux peach, 2 little halves of cookies that have a pastry cream in the middle and then are rolled in a liqueur from Italy called alchemes, which has got about 40 different spices and was first developed in Tuscany. And it's delicious, and it's banned in America. We can't get it. I've been lobbying myself for 5 years, ever since I started researching it, because it's a liqueur that seasons so many important desserts like zuppa inglese, yet it's banned because 180 years ago in Italy they used to put the shell of an insect to give it the red coloring, and if you drank 2 gallons of it, you might get a little stomachache. And so it's banned here in America, even though for the past 70 years they have not been using that insect to color it. We still haven't accepted it here. So you have to try this when you're in Italy, or bring back a little bottle. Cannoli, probably one of America's top 5 favorite desserts, come from the name from the little rod, the cane that's used to make cannole. And at carnival time, you'll even see gigantic cannole to celebrate Carnevale. Another dessert from Sicily is cassata, a beautiful, beautiful artistic dessert. Italy also invented gelato. In Sicily, and the many, many kinds of flavors of gelato. One of my favorites is how we have breakfast in Sicily, which is gelato in a brioche. It's all your food groups. We've got, especially if you do pistachio ice cream, you've got the little protein and you've got the brioche. It's an egg brioche. And then inventions that even in the 1950s, when they made tartufo, because he ran out of a bowl to serve the dessert, they had to kind of invent this plate serving ice cream, to even the way to put a cartoon on an ice cream sandwich. And then sorbetto. So many wonderful flavors, and so celebrating the wonderful foods, the natural foods of Italy, like lemon sorbetto, almond sorbetto, coffee sorbetto. You even get your vegetable groups when you eat Italian desserts. They have many, many vegetable desserts. Now, this idea of having savory sweet is something that dates to the Middle Ages, because there wasn't such a clear demarcation between dessert course and your savory courses. So, for example, this wonderful dessert called torta con biscari is a spinach pie with almond, and this dates to the Renaissance. And it actually has a kind of little tie-in with Florence, because the name biscari has 2 meanings. One is, biscari is the fret to adjust in a musical instrument. Biscaro is also a fool, especially about money. And that second meaning came because the family Biscaro that lived, the Biscari family that lived in Florence, didn't sell their building when they were building the Duomo. They held out for a higher price. And so the town decided to rearrange the angle and not buy their property. And so for centuries, they were known as the idiots, the fools, because they lost this wonderful opportunity to sell their property to be the ground for the Duomo. And so that got that second name. But even today, you can find, especially in the province of Lucca, you can find lots of sweets that are made with vegetables. You can find the torta con biscari, and you can find all kinds of torta di verdura, and even the beautiful scapaccia, which is thinly sliced zucchini. It's amazing. We have carrot cake, so it's kind of the same idea that vegetables have a natural sweetness, or some vegetables play off very nicely against the sweetness of sugar. Torta mimosa, a mimosa cake. So today is the Father's Day of Italy, and just a few days ago, on March 8th, there was Festa della Donna, the International Day of Women. Here